So a lot of you guys follow me on Twitter. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. A lot of the people I follow on Twitter, I try to follow people who are conservative-minded, not just in politics, but in other things as well, family-oriented, people who make me laugh with a conservative bent on things, and just people who I would consider patriotic, who have some traditional values embedded in them. One of the people that I follow, and this happens quite a bit, what I'm about to tell you, one of the people, especially lately, one of the people that I follow is a woman named Gretchen, and her husband are expats, and they are living overseas for the majority of the time, at least since I've been following them. Here's one of their recent profiles. It says, every month in 2024, Joe and I are celebrating 30 years together. We met in the U.S. Air Force on Ramstein Air Base in Germany at the base gym. We have experienced it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly together. Our love is unconditional. We are now on our chapter as empty nesters living in Taiwan. And so they, from what I understand, watching their posts, here and there, they travel around and do probably military contractor work. All of that to say, yes, Ramstein Air Base. I have fond memories of Ramstein. I used to go there whenever I could get a chance to get on a detail, going to either Ramstein, Landstuhl, or somewhere out there, because especially the Air Force guys at Ramstein, their chow halls always had the best food, and an infantry guy is always hungry. And if you could get a chance to get on a detail going over to Ramstein, you jumped on it because it was awesome food. Anyway, all that to say, so they posted something that I'm seeing an awful lot recently from lots of different people. Here it is. Our retirement plans are changing. We are now discussing buying rural property, growing a garden, having chickens for our own eggs, hunt and fish for our meat. The theme of our property will be guns and ammo. We will be off-grid, self-sustainable hermits. I never thought I would entertain this way of life. Joe does not even want a phone. He says family can call you. I totally get that. Now we just need to make it to retirement. We are getting close. This Taiwan expat assignment is our path to freedom. And I'm assuming by that they mean they're getting paid a lot for their services. And with a lot of these posts, usually you see a picture like this. An amazing country cabin that's fully furnished, amazingly decorated. And a lot of times you see pictures like this, or you see a picture that's far off in the distance of a lowly cabin with a nice streaming, whiff of smoke coming out of the chimney, with a creek nearby and pasture land and maybe an animal or two out there. Some amazingly artistic photo of what homesteading is like. And in reality, I see these new homesteaders, and when I see things like this, my response is always, I post the same meme every single time. It's always the same. This is the meme I post.
Everything here's okay. Over. But nobody has no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Turn up the heat and it's getting ready to pop.
Police with automatic rifle fire in Nakatomi! I need backup assistance now! Now!
I always reply with that every single time because, listen, I have said many times on my channel, okay, when you push preparedness to its logical conclusion, you will always end up on a homestead every single time. When you push preparedness to its logical conclusion, you will always end up on a homestead. And right now, you're looking around at the world and going, what in the heck is going on? None of this makes sense. All of this is insanity. You're looking at all of the news items and you're like, the world is upside down. And that causes people who are normal thinking, people who have some sort of intact logical reasoning to question, where is all this headed? I need to get out somewhere. I need to be a hermit. I need to find a way to produce things on my own. I need to find a way to be more self-sustaining. And I'm like, welcome to the party, pal. You know? Listen, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but the writing was on the wall back in 2007, 2008. When all that stuff went down. I can't believe we survived that. They made movies about that. You had The Big Short that was made. You had the Lehman Brothers. I forgot what. They had all those stars, and they didn't call it the Lehman Brothers collapse, but it was basically the Lehman Brothers collapse. I forgot all the big stars that were in that movie. It's like Demi Moore and I can't remember all the stars. Anyway, all that to say, back then, we were completely broke as a nation. And the only way we survived 2007, 2008, 2009 was because the Federal Reserve turned on the crankers and out the money machine and saved everything. But now we're at a point where it's like, oh, inflation's not that bad. Inflation's going down. What world are you living in? The real inflation right now is probably still around 10%. But they're saying, oh, it's fine, 3%. No, that's a lie. All these numbers that these people are putting out and about the economy are a complete and total fabrication. No, it's all a lie. We're $34 trillion in debt. There is no way out of this except for a monetary collapse. I'm a student of history. All you got to do is look back throughout the history books. Whenever we started, we started down this road in 1913 with the creation of the central bank. The demonetization started happening in 1964 with the removal of the coinage out of the system. And then you had, 1971. That's the nail in the coffin. It's only a matter of time at that point. And the time has almost done ticked away. So that's where we're left right now. Those who were sort of at least a halfway switched on back in 2008 saw this country is broke. There's no way out of this. And especially once you realize what quantitative easing was, and quantitative easing, all that means is money printer go burr. It's just going to make it worse. Yes, Gretchen, you and Joe need to move to a homestead, and you need to start. I don't know. Obviously, you're making good money in Taiwan, and you want to fund that homestead with this. I would really try to. I don't know, man. Because the reality is, and I've done videos before on this as well. It takes time. You just don't move out to a place and chickens and sheep or goats. A lot of people go with goats first, but if you've done that, you know that's a horrible decision. And goats are like drunk teenagers that have found the keys to daddy's liquor cabinet. Goats get up every single day and say, how can I kill myself today? So you do goats usually starting off. I did. And then you learn your lesson and you go to sheep because sheep are much more manageable. There's less drama. And every man in this world wants less drama. And so all this stuff just doesn't appear. Fantastic gardens with tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers and all this. It doesn't just appear. You have to go through lots of failures before your successes outnumber all of your failures. We have lost so much knowledge from our grandparents and great-grandparents. Fermentation, that's why I'm pushing the perfect pickler stuff so much. Do you know how healthy fermented foods are for you? And we wonder why we're so sick as a nation today. We don't eat real food anymore. And if you want to get into growing your own food and, raising your own food, well, that's fantastic. But, what are you going to do with it? Do you know how to can? Do you know have you ever pressure canned before? Do you know how to ferment those foods? Do you know how to, make a root cellar and keep your potatoes on from one season to the other? There's lots of things I'm still learning. I don't know all this yet, but I've come, leaps and bounds from where I started. I was completely naive to so many things when I first started this walk. And so I'm trying to consult and help people and teach them and try to get some, because one of the best things you can do is go to people who know these things so that you sidestep a lot of the landmines that will take your foot off. Yes, you need a homestead. You need to get to these places now, today. We're $34 trillion in debt. There's no way coming out of this thing. It's collapsing as we speak. Right now, you're seeing it collapse. You're seeing society, the decay of the moral character is almost complete in this country. You're watching it every day on the news. And a country that has a moral decay like we have today will not survive. And it's only increasing. And, you can go down a whole biblical road of why that might be if you wanted to. But I'm not going to do that here. What I'm going to tell you to do is, yes, prepare. Get your family, find a hole, and crawl down in it. Because you can survive this. And you're going to have a lot better chance of surviving when you're at a place where you are in a less densely populated area and you have the ability to defend yourself. These people who move to Ecuador and all these other places where you can't own firearms and self-defense weapons. David used a rock. I use a Glock. It's the same stone. It's just a 9mm size stone. That's all. And I don't have a sling. My sling is a piece of polymer. Sanctified Supply sells these shirts. You should check them out. Sanctified, just Google Sanctified Supply t-shirts. You'll find them on Google. Fantastic company. They have all kinds of great shirts. Check them out. Sanctified Supply on Google. Anyway, that's my rant today. I like watching people come to the realization that I came to years ago. And while I think, man, you're a little bit late to the party. But, welcome to the party, pal. But let me see if I can help you get going. And you can sidestep a lot of the landmines that I stepped on. And, hopefully you can get engaged with some of the people who have been down this road. Because some of you have a lot of catching up to do. It's coming. There's no stopping it. That's just a fact. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Let me know where you're at in your walk, your homesteading walk. There's a lot of hard lessons to learn. By you getting into the comment section and sharing some of the hard lessons you've learned, even if it's brief, you may set someone years ahead in their learning curve. Just doing something simple like that. That's how much your comments can benefit others. So do us a solid and leave one down there. I really appreciate it. Okay. Hey, you can check out our merchandise, teespring.com. Our Stupid Should Hurt shirt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful, awful lot less stupid. But go ahead and also check out Sanctified Supply, their shirts as well. You can find their shirts over at Google. Just search for Sanctified Supply. Also, we're still giving away these tincture books. A lot of the knowledge that has been lost throughout history in these books below, in these books right here, because the pharmaceutical companies out there have been trying to take this knowledge away for over 100 years now. This stuff was written, this copyrighted back in the 1800s. This guy lived back in the 1800s, and these are out of copyright, out of print. And if you buy them on Amazon, you're going to pay $800 for one and then about over $900 for the other. And the reason they're so valuable is because of the information contained within. It's completely lost info. I give this to all my patrons who join for at least $1 a month. I'll give you access to these PDFs. You can get them downloaded and printed. Hard copy these things because this is lost knowledge, and I'm telling you, it's so, so valuable. Okay, if you join at higher levels on our Patreon, I really appreciate it. And we're also doing a giveaway on a solar generator this month, here actually in about a week or so. So people who join at higher levels get access to those sorts of things. So I really appreciate it if you do that. But just $1 a month gets you into stuff like this. And I want to share this stuff far and wide because we need to recapture a lot of this information that has been lost. Our great grandparents and grandparents knew about it, but now it is gone. All right. Again, what do you think? Leave a comment below. See you next time in the homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit perfectpickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's perfectpickler.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.